Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Molly here, and I'm gonna do a quick book review, but let's start with the story time. So, in September 2022, I went to a Q&A with Wesley himself, Carrie Ives. We watched The Princess Bride, and he came out to answer a couple questions that were written on a piece of paper, or just, he was told stories, which was pretty funny and pretty interesting to listen to after the movie. So, I'm gonna put pictures right here really quickly, let the B-roll do its thing. And then, before that though, there were two books in it. The Princess Bride itself, the book, which I already had my copy. I read this years ago. Fully enjoyed it, so I did not get this. I'm like, why am I gonna get another book? Like, I don't need it. But there's also As You Wish, written by Carrie himself. And I'm like, well, it sounds interesting. I have to get it because I love The Princess Bride, and it would just be really interesting to read about the filming of The Princess Bride, which is this. It's his aspect of how everything went, so it was really interesting. I actually gave it a 4 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. Some of the stories that he told in this were really funny. Like, one time during filming, he just couldn't stop laughing, so they had to put a dummy in place during filming, especially too when Andre the Giant just let out a big fart. Like, the whole group just couldn't stop laughing, so they had to like stop, and it was just funny. And then also too, there were like 2 accidents from Carrie himself on set. He broke his big toe during when he was on break for a couple minutes filming on he decided he wanted to try Andre the Giant's ATV. At first he didn't want to, just to be safe, but he's like, okay, you know what, I'll try it. Being asked again by Andre himself, and apparently, yeah, he tried to drive it, broke his big toe. And then also too, during filming, one of the scenes had got cracked open by just going with their sword. So it happens, it's the scene when Wesley does get a little on the head, so by the sword. So look for that in the film. But yeah, so like, as a huge Princess Bride, I just really found this book really interesting, and I really loved it. The stories were really funny to read, or just like to, you know, like read, just really interesting. And then also reminded me a little bit, now that I'm thinking about it, because he talks about some of the actors and actresses, it kind of reminded me of Tom Felton's book, Beyond the Wand. Just, you know, some of the aspects of the filming of Harry Potter for him. This was filming for The Princess Bride for Carrie himself. So it was just like really interesting to read what was going on. And the cool thing is, guys, I did not tell you. So the local bookstore, when I went to the theater for the Q&A, they had read Carrie himself sign a couple of the books, and this is like one of my prized possessions right now. I have a signed copy of As You Wish, which makes me so happy. But yeah, so it was definitely a fun night going to the Q&A. And this book is now, like, you know, I can look at it and reminisce. And also too, while reading this, I can actually now watch the film again and be like, oh yeah, this happened. You know what I mean? Like, oh, like, I read that happened. So I just found it really interesting. I really enjoyed this book. So yeah, I definitely, if you're a huge Princess Bride fan, definitely read this book if you have not already. It is such fun to read. It really is, and interesting things were said in here. And then, if you have not watched The Princess Bride, inconceivable! What are you doing? Watch The Princess Bride, because you will love it. There's so many things, and which is what I talked about in the book, that Fox had a hard time coming up on how to market the film, because there's so many things. There's romance, action, magic. So it was just really hard for them to figure out how to market it. So definitely watch The Princess Bride if you have not watched The Princess Bride, because it is an amazing film, even though some of it's a little cheesy now, because it was filmed in the 80s, but it still has the heart, and people just love to quote it. I just love to quote it. It's just such a beautiful film in itself, and just reading this was just so much fun to read. So I highly suggest this book if you're a Princess Bride fan. Watch the film if you have not. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, friends!